PuckChamp. They lose here, well, relegation time, boys, because it becomes very untenable. Because then their last game against ITB almost guarantees relegation if they end up losing this one. So let's see what they do, how it all goes, and how it shakes out for them. I am also going to be curious to see what the ward spots are going to be like for these teams and how quickly they've adapted to the new places to try and eke out some vision. So far, it seems fairly normal, but I have seen this ward down here that's been placed up by PuckChamp a lot more today. This one right in front of the tier 1 tower. You have so much more space to play around, so much more movement opportunities here. It does make sense to try to cover all 3 angles by just plopping down a ward right in front of the tower.
Yeah, also the fact that the tier 1 tower gets moved back past this like little subsection in the river also means that you just get yourself that little bit of extra vision around the map as well. And kind of just following on to your point about this for PuckChamp. For D2 Hustlers, it's obviously important to get the dub, but for them, if they lose or if they win, the result still doesn't really change for them because their serious matchup is up against Ancient Tribe, right? Like that's the one that they have to win between both those 2 teams. Winner of that series will go into Div 1 and the loser of that will fall out of it. So it is very interesting to see how this series is going to pan out specifically for PuckChamp because as you said, if they lose this, they go 1-5 and then they're basically just hoping for some crazy tiebreakers to keep themselves in the division.
It's actually a good point, right? That like no matter what, this is an immaterial game. Actually, it is material because if they win this and they win Ancient Tribe, then they go easily into Div 1.
Oh yeah.
But if they win, if they lose and then they beat Ancient Tribe, then it's tiebreakers. Then you have to play again. And since it's head-to-head tiebreakers, it's going to be a best of 3. And maybe Ancient Tribe has warmed up by then. I think everybody, you'd rather take the easy way in, right? As much as humanly possible.
Especially with like, if you win this series for D2 Hustlers, then the pressure from the next series kind of gets let off a little bit because if you win, then you go into Division 1. If you lose, worst case scenario, you're going to tiebreakers. So it's like, it's not like you get completely shut out of Division 1. So yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it for D2 Hustlers. I didn't think about it like that. Smart.
So interestingly enough here as well, one thing I'm wondering about this Bounty Hunter. Do you remember there was a rarefied time, I think maybe 2 years ago, where people were playing this support/off-lane Bounty Hunter, and very often people were buying Dagons on this hero just to make sure that you help buttress the burst damage. And it kind of sucks building Dagon, but now with this Diadem build-up, right? Bounty as a universal hero, getting not a universal hero, sorry, still getting +6 stats seems pretty decent. It's not the most expensive in the world. Are we going to start to see maybe a return of this Dagon build, given that the build-up is less punishing for these support bounties?
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I think Dagon is definitely one of those items that these heroes... I think you need to think about it with a little bit more of the spell lifesteal in mind. I think that's the most broken part about the item, is the fact that for universal heroes that deal magic damage, Void Spirit is one of them, Nyx Assassin is another one. That the spell lifesteal and the heal that you get from the damage that you deal with Dagon is absolutely nutty. I could definitely see it coming back for you, especially now that the fact that your Shuriken doesn't like mini-stun and all that kind of stuff. So that is something that we may see here. One thing I will say about the... Oh, is Teal Core going to go down?
Nice,
no, okay. One thing I will say about the tooltip, once the tri-lane setup goes away, I would like our observer to go have a look at the tooltip and see if anybody can figure out why I'm so annoyed about how this tooltip is set out.
Because the OD's one. Wait, whose tooltip? Like
the Dagon's tooltip. Dagon's tooltip.
Dagon. I see.
Why is it set up like that? It gives you 7 all stats. It gives you 9 all stats. Just write all stats. Why is it written like that?
You need to see it, man. Bottom, we might see your first death here to Sweden Strong. Sweden Strong, pop the fairy fire, the Oracle will die. Well, this, oh wow, Divine Llama. He says, you may kill the Oracle, but I'm taking both of your lives in recompense. Gets a double kill down in this bottom lane. They actually tried for the first blood, bringing the bounty here. And I think they were trying to hope for this Rubik to be a bit further forward, but they couldn't find him. They still get the first blood, but I don't know how much worth this is because you get a ton of gold into the LC, but crucially a ton of experience as well down this bottom lane.
Yeah, the Vilama is super happy with that. He gets solid experience. He gets a lot of the extra gold, especially with the changes to the way that gold gets distributed with kills. Early on, you get a lot more you get a lot more gold early on. Not a crazy amount, but the fact that he got a double kill by himself means that he gets like an extra 50 to 100 gold, which is very, very strong in these early stages. So I'm sure there's people out there that are as miffed as I am with Dagon. So please, Val, if you're listening, just update the tooltip. Just say all attributes. Come on. Everything else is written as all attributes, not like that. That's the most annoying thing that I've seen in the patch. I was like, come on, who wrote this? Anyway, so I'll get off the Dagon hype train.
Of all the things that they're going to tell you, that's going to be the one. Okay, I see.
That's the one thing in Dota that annoys me is sometimes things are written inconsistently. And I'm just like, come on, Valve. You're very specific with wording of things. Very specific. But you don't keep that consistent. Come on, bro.
My man who's okay watching Naga Siren and Brood games has an issue with the Dagons. Alright, cool, I see. Speaking of this Naga,
culture.
She's chilling, just farming bottom. You were saying that you're curious about the OD build-up in this game. What about Naga? Have the changes in the patch changed up how she should be progressing her build in the game?
I think maybe you might start thinking about something like Disperser. Could be something that you're thinking about for Naga Siren. Even maybe the Harpoon if you want to get like real funky with it. But I think at the end of the day, Manta style Orchid are still very, very strong for this hero. Stats are super strong. Maybe you might go like Sanjin Yasha now. If you don't need like the Purge. I think in this game it's not really that great to have the Manta style Purge. So I could definitely see Sanjin Yasha this game.
That's why I wouldn't be too upset with. As we see D2 Hustlers getting yet another kill in this bottom lane. They are bringing in Sweet and Strong though, so they're going to try and mount more aggression onto Divine Llama. Let's see if they wait for the Morana to come back first though. Sweet and Strong, his death is not going to be clocked all that much, or his absence rather. They'll just be like, oh, there's a bounty on the map somewhere. And here comes Morana. They're going to try for this play. They go in, the Janata hits. They definitely have the damage for this. Divine Llama is going to die no matter what he does. There'll be a sentry drop down. They throw a grenade at him. And they do find themselves the kill. Sweet and Strong is the one that collects it. He says, guys, I need to get some tax money for making this rotation. And he gets paid. He's good.
Yeah, Blood Grenade, what an item. I like the way that they added this, and this is something cool that we're seeing here from Sweden Strong as well, right? You get a kill in the bottom lane, you hit the Twin Gate, and you go top. You're instantly top. You don't have to waste a TP. You're able to take over the Watcher as well in the corner that unfortunately D2 Hustlers haven't taken over, which is a little bit of a minor grievance in this lane. I think when you're playing in these side lanes and even at the start of the game, you need to get the basic watches done, like the ones near your Twin Gates, the ones near your bounty runes. You need to make sure that you have those taken over early on, so they only get destroyed instead of getting taken over when they turn into the neutral form. So. But yeah, it's a good rotation from Sweden Strong, right? Like you get a kill in the bottom side, you get yourself a little bit more of this gold, you transfer towards top lane where, Lays really hasn't been pressured all too much. Reactive armor is very, very strong into the Terrorblade. They just don't have the damage with the heroes that they have. And he's able to just be pretty happy with how these first couple of levels are going. He still is a little bit behind in regards to the Legion Commander in comparison to him when it comes to the last hits, but I think he should be okay with how this game is going to go, especially if we see this Timbersaw go like the tanky Timbersaw build. You can go like Ags, you can go Crimson Guard. Crimson Guard is amazing for both of these two teams right now. You just go like Crimson Guard, you can go Ags, you can go Pipe, you can go like Shivas, like you can just go this like tanky Timbersaw build, and then your Leshrac and your Naga Siren are going to be the damage dealers for you, because that's one thing that they're not lacking here in PuckChamp. They have a lot of damage on all of their heroes, but they just need that little bit of extra survivability for some of their other heroes.
Some survivability, some lockdown would be nice for them to dish out this damage reliably. Oh, while we're paused, allow me to quickly just let you know why I think Radiant's going to be so much better. You were talking in the draft about how some of the changes might normalize the advantages between the two teams. So because they've moved these camps, right, the ones that are behind this Naga Siren by the well, they call this the well, right? Yeah, so the camps by the well area versus the camps that are on the mine area on the other side of the map on Dire. The Dire ones, they give all the creeps that spawn there plus 4 HP regen. And remember that all the creeps get stronger now as time goes on. But these ones, all that they give the creeps is mana regen. So they die a hell of a lot faster than the ones on the other side of the map. You're very incentivized to keep defense on this area with the dual outpost as well as a tier 2 tower. It's super hard to take this area away from Radiant side. So you always have access to a faster place to farm these creeps. Ancient camps aren't that difficult to reach for you, as the offlaner can naturally stack up the one camp, your support will stack up the other ones. And because the Roshans are so far away, we oftentimes playing on Radiant side feel very uncomfortable trying to farm your triangle. Now you don't really care anymore, right? You can farm your triangle safely, get to the other Ancients without dying. Roshan is far enough away that you can do so and still have vision on the team. And of course, there's the Watcher that makes sure that both farming aspects are quite safe. Honestly, I would not be surprised if down the stretch, we see that the advantage gets slightly flipped towards Radiant side. The Ancients, like the Dire Ancients are better, but I just think that there's more reliable farm available from this well area that the Radiant side can take advantage of.
Yeah, I think I agree with you as well, right? I think that's a big thing that not many people really understand with the, what is it, the Well Wishers and the Mighty Mines. Two interesting places on the map that give different bonuses to the creeps, and the fact that it's HP, as you said, HP regen in the Dire side is just going to suck, because like if you're a slower hero at killing these neutral creeps, then it just means they're eventually going to be tankier by default, because you're reducing 4 damage almost every second, which is a lot more annoying than mana regen. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for us to look at and see how that develops. I think teams are still probably just going to naturally favor the Dire just because it has been so strong for so long, right? And we'll see if it naturally turns back in towards Radiant. Whether or not it's going to be even. If it goes back to like 51-49, that's going to be hard.
Top lane, they're looking for a quick kill onto Swedenstrong, and they will be able to find it. The question is, do they escape with Hakoda's life? And the answer is yes. Doesn't get aggressed into Timbersaw for Lays, doesn't have level 6 just yet, so can't throw out the chakra. He's actually been struggling in this top lane, Fluke. Like, damn. What's been going on? This Timbersaw getting absolutely bodied by the Terrorblade. 1600 net worth difference? That feels like it shouldn't be happening, especially since he spent quite a lot of time all by his lonesome and not necessarily having 3 heroes against him. This Rubik was mostly bottom. Swedenstrong was giving him space. What do you think? What the hell happened in this top lane?
I think it was the fact that Swedenstrong put a lot of emphasis on the safe lane, that he just like, he had to go for these like tanky builds, so he wasn't able to pressure out the TB early on and go for like the greedier, more levels in Whirling Death, and you get like the Timber Chain early on, and you just try and deal the damage, and it means now that he's a little bit further behind, and it's going to take some time for him to catch up, but there is a lot of gold on the map when it comes to neutral creeps, so he's going to be okay to be able to catch up, and his job this game is to be a tank rather than a damage dealer, so him being a little bit further behind on the network is not so much of an issue, whereas if the roles were reversed, I'd be very concerned for the Vile Armor, because he needs to get this like blink up early for them. He's one of their better catch heroes as well, and he needs to scale with dual damage this game. So yeah, I think it's not all too concerning for PuckChamp so far, but it definitely is concerning the fact that Yuma was able to kind of decimate him this hard.
Well, we do get some answers in the game about the build from Adzentic. He's going for the Meteor Hammer. So not that many changes from the prior patch. We saw a lot of beam hammers. Sometimes it would be followed up by a Midas. Sometimes it would be followed by a Blink straight into BKB. We'll see what the option is here. This time they exploit the Meteor Hammer as they wait in hiding for an arrow connection. Eki then bringing the trap. They turn around with the Sanity's Eclipse. After getting an Astral out into the Lesh rack, they're keeping the Lesh away from the OD so they don't have enough damage to find the kill. They also bring down Swedenstrong. They will be able to find a quick killer. Here's the leap back. Eki jumps into the mid lane to bring down the OD. They thought they were maybe going to turn onto Lorinov, but it turns out that Eki wasn't done just yet. It's a 2-for-1 affair in this mid lane, and PuckChamp very happy with this exchange because they also protect the tier 1 tower. Yeah.
Needed some more blood grenades that time around. The extra damage definitely would have done it, but yeah, that's a good rotation from PuckChamp, as you said, being able to keep their tier 1 tower alive. It still only has 200 HP though, which is kind of the annoying part about Meteor Hammer now. It's much more about taking towers than it is, chain stunning and bursting people down. So I like that he's still gone back for the Meteor Hammer. He's one of the few heroes in their game now that can still set up the Meteor Hammer for themselves. So it means that they can not only set up with some of these stuns, but he can also push the tower if the Leshrac ever goes away from his tower, because it does a lot more damage to towers, which is always nice with the Meteor Hammer.
Like it definitely needed more damage. That was the problem with this item, that it needed more damage onto buildings.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's you can tell that IceFrog likes the item, but he didn't like the way the item was being used. So removing a lot of the stun duration, turning it into a slow, increasing the damage on the tower means that, hey, you guys can still build this, but let's not just, build it because we have a 2.5 second stun and I can chain stun somebody for like 4 seconds and, then you just get all this massive amount of burst damage on top of it. It's much more like, hey, use this to chip away at a tower when you don't really have tower taking ability, and you can kind of have it as an alternate build path. But I think OD is probably going to be one of those heroes that still will consistently buy it, whereas a lot of these other heroes like Dragon Knights and like some of these other like heroes like Tidehunter and all that kind of stuff probably won't be looking towards it.
Top lane, they might be looking towards trying to bring down Yuma's life, as they have 3 heroes right around him. They do have the level 7 on Timber, but he is out of mana right now. Does have arcade boots to pop in a little bit. Now let's see if they go for an easier target in the form of the Yoloko. Azuma. He can posture up aggressively given that he does have access to the Sunder. So he's just playing his way. He's chilling. But down bottom, low skill is just going to keep farming. Farm away. He's farming up those camps we spoke about. But this doesn't become as easy because now they have a Blink Dagger on Divine Llama. And look where the OD and LC are. They're in the Radiant jungle. Hoping to try and find a viable target here. But nobody presents themselves easily. They might still make this move though. They're coming bottom. It is scouted out by an Observer Ward though. Radiant Ward inside the jungle. Planted by Eki. Sweet and Strong walked underneath a Sentry Ward. So they know he's in the area. He's back underneath it now. He gets through. Got him. Got Blade melded up as well. He should die here. Oh. He dies before Adzentic arrives though. So that's not going to be... He will be in experience range, but he didn't do any damage, so he gets nothing. Feels bad.
Yeah. He unfortunately doesn't get the dual damage, which is a little sad. Vailama gets the Faded Brooch from the token that Adzentic gave it to him. So he's feeling pretty good with how this game is going so far. This is one thing for both of these two sides is Tier 1 towers still going down in your safe lane and in your mid lane really does mean that your jungle is kind of easily taken overable, but with the addition of these creep waves on the right-hand side, on the outer edges of these lanes, means that low skill, naturally, he wouldn't really have anywhere to farm right now. Like, if he lost control of his jungle, he would have to be in the triangle. Then he probably would have to have kicked out Lays in the top lane for them to try and get this Tier 1 tower down so they can start making aggressive movements in towards the dire side jungle. But the addition of all these extra camps means that low skill's just like, all right, cool, dog. I'm just going to sit in my jungle because I've still got 15 camps to be able to deal with, and everybody else still has the top side of the map to be able to farm with. So carry players definitely are rejoicing right now. Like, all those hard farmers, all these late game kind of carriers, I think are definitely going to be loving neutral creeps because they're the ones. Their gold bounty didn't get changed. It's much more the scaling of lane creeps is got changed. So it's much more of a change of when teams are ahead and farming all these waves out, they're not getting much more ahead than you because you still have decent amount of neutral creeps to be able to try and farm to catch up and fight your way back into the game.
There's a reason why they wanted to add that jungler tag into the game, but top lane, we see that they want to try and utilize this Blink Dagger better on the side of D2 Hustlers, and they get the Blink out onto Timber, so that is a definite kill. It's not going to be a dual kill, but they do manage to bring him down. They're not the ones that have the Rubik, so they can't even steal Astral. They don't really have a save unless the Naga Siren shows up with the song. So no way to save him, no way to keep him alive, and D2 Hustlers just keep the train going. They bring down the Tier 1 tower in the top lane, and they're actually going to Fiend's Gate down to bottom. Look at Divine Llama, he's smoked up. He wants to try and find a target. They see these illusions, but they just pop them. This actually might give a false sense of security towards the Naga Siren, but there's a TP towards middle because they want to find Eki. Caught out here, the Mirana is, and she is certainly going to die. Meme Hammer drops onto her face. The kill happens. And D2 Hustlers, it just feels like they're playing this map very, very simply right now. They aren't trying to play overly aggressive. They go for the kills that they can get, and they're just trying to slowly but surely choke out PuckChamp because they still have their Tier 1 tower on the top lane. So you were talking about losing your safe lane and your mid tower opens up your jungle, but if you have both and you have the enemy's towers, you keep your jungle and you get to exploit theirs. So much more farm available for D2 Hustlers.
Yeah, they're spreading their wings and they're definitely taking over a large part of the map. And one unfortunate thing for PuckChamp is a lot of their vision is aggressive. They don't really see any wards in their own jungle or in their own side of the map, so they aren't able to try and aggress in there themselves to kick D2 Hustlers out. And they're going to try and do it now with a smoke. The fact they're bringing Lorinov down here with his freshly picked up Bloodstone, and the fact that Faded Brooch is back into the game is, I mean, I don't know why I brought this bad boy back in, but either way, it is what it is.
Listen, if he doesn't take away movement like Tumblr's Toy, you get to have Faded Brooch in the game. As part of,
okay, true.
They jump and kill Divine Llama very quickly. He was farming a bit greedily in this area. Gets caught out and killed by Sweet and Strong. He thought he had adequate protection since they have a Sentry Ward down on this cliff, but not going to be good enough. Nice kill for them because it also allows them to reclaim control of this part of the map. They'll get down some new vision. And look at Sweet and Strong. He's immediately going to the other side of the map with the gate. Just trying to make sure that they can maintain control here and deny D2 Hustlers an easy path into the Roshan pit.
Yeah, I think Sweden Strong is really showing the strength of the Twin Gates and to be able to play around them. One thing that I've noticed as well, and one thing that I've seen in a few games is supports. Man, they have like no experience now. Like the fact that you don't get Tome at level 10 for one of your heroes means that you can be really far behind. Like Sweden Strong, he just ticked level 7.
Oh god. Duel again onto Lace. He is higher than level 7, but that does not mean he'll stay alive from this. They do get the banish and the sanities, but he's not dead just yet. A couple more right clicks come out, but the heal from the reactive armor gonna be good enough. And he just rated at least one right click, I think, thanks to this Moonlight Shadow. Okay, Occult Bracelet, man. You know what the difference is with Occult Bracelet? That 10% magic resist, baby. Made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, it's a little too strong. I think Occult Bracelet, 5 all stats and 10% magic res feels, 4 all
So
stats.
yeah, 4 all stats, yeah.
It still feels pretty darn good, especially when you get the mana regen as well for Timbersaw, because naturally you're going to get HP regen from the reactive armor. So yeah, that's ways able to stay alive. And as you said, like there has been definitely a creep forward of magic resist in this patch, so heroes have to be very, very careful.
We're going to utilize some of that magic damage to get the quick kill onto this Morana. Actually, just mostly pure damage with the astral hits or the arcane orbs. So that is a kill. They just really desperately want to make sure that they maintain control of this jungle so that there's no ancients for them to farm or only one camp available. They're taking one down right now, but PuckChamp, there's not even posturing to fight. They're more posturing to keep them worried about the fight, because this Naga comfortably farming down bottom. Lesh farming through the mid and in the jungle as well. But these few heroes positioned in the top lane should be enough for PuckChamp to still maintain control of this area. Looks okay. It's fine.
Yep. They are doing a good job at just trying to really strangle out PuckChamp. 17 minutes in, they're feeling pretty strong with how their heroes are tracking. Yuma is in a good spot, 11k net worth. Same thing though with low skill. He's gotten to the point now where he has his cornucopia ready. So he's starting to get himself towards the Orchid. This is the build that I imagined. I wouldn't have seen too different. Maybe I would have liked to have seen a Sergeant Yasha instead of the Mantisar, so you're playing against an OD. He deals double damage to illusions with his ulti, but I still think Manta is a good build-up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
First song of the game utilized. The song actually might set up for a kill, but nah, they just want to escape with this. They don't TP. They stick around in the area. So I wonder if they're going to bring in reinforcements, and that is the case. Sweden Strong makes the TP to the outpost. There's 3 Radiant heroes down in this bottom lane. And they see Divine Llama, but Divine Llama also saw them. And Divine, is he going to get the duel? He does. Don't know if this gets them the kill, though. It won't for now. Reinforcements are coming in. But before the TP can arrive, they pop the Moonlight Shadow, and they will be able to escape. Man, D2 Hustlers, even if they're not getting kills, Fluke, they're still asserting dominance. They want you to know that they could get these kills if they really wanted to.
Yeah, Divine Llama is really kind of just pressing his bravado right now. Sweden Strong's going to say, see you later, go to the Twin Gate. Be happy with that. The one thing that's like shocking me, like, I know it's been increased by 40%, but like watching a pro game and just seeing how much more space is on the map,
It's
I'm like,
huge, dude.
you can, like, the fact that low skill has not left this bottom side of the map and has been able to avoid everybody is shocking to me. Like, how is he still able to keep up with a Terrorblade when he's literally just farming this bottom half of the map? Like, I know some of the teams from Dream League are definitely licking their lips. I mean, if you're Shopify Rebellion right now, the RPZ is popping out. He's happy. He's a happy little boy. And he's sitting there and he's like, bottom side of the map all for me? Bro. There's going to be a farm-heavy meta if I do say so.
That plus the fact that they buffed Luna. Can you imagine how happy the A-God is right now? He's just like,
dude.
Yes. Yes.
They are launching. They're like, oh, Medusa sounds good. Naga sounds good. Luna sounds good.
Dual damage
Shopify
sounds good, too. Divine Llama gets it. Is Legion... Are they playing really well, or is Legion actually good this patch?
I think she's actually good this patch. I think she got buffed a lot. She's a really good laner. It's hard to kick her out, and Duel is one of those spells that is just always good.
Mid lane. Oof, hookshot. That was supposed to be good. Some actually very interesting plays. Although Adzantic inadvertently blocked off the angle for the hookshot, Eki leapt in front of it. He was prepared to do some bodyguard plays there. Jump in front of the bullet for his core in the mid lane. Ended up not needing to do it, but it's good to know that he has that inclination and that desire. They will smoke up now though, 3 of them. Not sure they have enough damage to find their primary targets. They get a quick arrow onto Fiora core. It's not going to land onto him though. Skates right past him, and instead they turn around back onto Sweet and Strong. The Lesh trying to get involved in this fight with the magical damage. They've already thrown out the Sanity's Eclipse. Not going to be much to bring down the follow-up heroes as they lose LC elsewhere in this fight here. OD jumping in after Larenov. They really want to find this Leshrac. Moonlight Shadow though keeps him alive a little bit longer. The question is, will they maybe song for this on the Naga to try and force this fight? Looks like they're satisfied with just being able to claim the life of the LC and not losing any cores in this situation.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good trade there for D2 Hustlers. I think they're pretty happy with taking more map control. They get the outpost here, so they're able to take control of it once again, which feels good here for D2 Hustlers. But yeah, just circling back to Legion Commander, I think the way that she plays is really strong because Duel got slightly nerfed. Like with a lot of these other stuns, you know, losing like full seconds or seconds and a half. Like Duel only lost 0.25 of a second. So at the end of the day, like it really hasn't changed the way that she's played all too much. But it's just the fact that Overwhelming Odds is a very, very strong spell right now. It is monstrous how big it is. And how scary it can be in the right scenario against a lot of these illusion carriers, which I think are probably going to come back in the meta. Like we'll probably see like a lot of illusion carries, and you know she can build. In the previous game we saw Zibe build Crimson Guard, and the fact that it scales off strength. You hear like Legion Commander likes having a lot of strength with herself as well, so she definitely can be a scary hero to be able to play around it.
One thing that I expected to be a lot scarier than it actually is. When I read the notes for these tormentors, you know, I was like, oh snap. This is basically, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be this huge thing. We have to fight around. It turns out to be the easiest thing in the world. They die so quickly. So just a tormentor. Doesn't even deserve to be called Obelisk the Tormentor, man. This is just a tormentor.
Yeah, Kaiba would be pretty disappointed right now.
Exactly.
Maybe he would feel like his deck's feeling pretty pathetic right now.
What do you mean Kaiba, dude? This isn't a Kaiba level card. This is fucking Joey. Joey's playing with these tormentors.
This is like those the knockoff Obelisk tormentors that you used to get in, like that one kid would have it at school, and you just be like, that's not a real Obelisk command. What is that?
So when I was in primary school, the school we went to, you know, wasn't in the highest net worth area, so very few kids could actually afford to have Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So what we started doing after a while, we just made our own. So you'd like watch the show, or you go to like the shops where they would sell the cards. You'd also like see a couple of the cards in the deck. You'd be like, sweet, remember what the stats are, go home, cut them out on a piece of paper, and then you're like, all right, boys, these are my own god cards. I've got this.
That is big brain. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Love to hear that.
So in this game, PuckChamp need to be making some adaptations. They've lost their tier 2 tower, so that's a huge security net taken away from low skill. You can't just as easily as he was farm out these camps down bottom that we've been talking about. He still has quite a decent amount of net worth. The hero I'm mostly worried about though is the Timber Sword. You were talking about how he needs to be a lot tankier for his team. He's building into the Lotus Orb now, but thus far he's been having a fairly rough go at it. 1 death and a 0 involvement in any kills in this map at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately for PuckChamp, their offlane went pretty rough, so their Timbersaw hasn't been able to be a threat on the map, even though you want him to be this tanky hero. And same thing with Larenov, he really has not been able to be involved. He's 2-0-1, has with travel, and just hasn't been able to enter the map just yet. Maybe if they get the kill here on Eki, okay, he gets out. Just. Also, something we haven't touched on is the Clockwork Cogs change. It interrupts like force movement abilities. I've seen it twice already with Timbersaw, and it also works against Leap. So previously you would leap into the cogs to try and help your buddy out. You'd soak up some of the battery assault. Same thing with Timbersaw. He could just like timber chain through you, and you really wouldn't have a good way of dealing with it. So the way the cogs works now, I think Clock's going to feel a lot better in this patch, even though he was amazing in the last patch.
You know, it's also going to feel good for OG as he's right now sieging on Roshan. They changed Roshan and made him a lot tankier with armor, but pure damage is really, really good against Rosh. So OG going to be one of the better heroes in general at bringing down this Roshan nowadays. I've seen it with like just pure physical heroes. It takes so much longer than it used to. But with this OG being in tow, now suddenly you always have... I can't believe that OD is an objective take hero. with Meme Hammer, hits on the arcane orbs. Like, yeah, we can actually do stuff on the map with OG. Who knew? Love Dota, man.
So, iFrog always has a great idea in mind, and you know, with all the name changes, with all the spell changes, he knew that OD was going to be a pushing hero. I mean, objective taker all along. But it's now getting to the point where the map is slowly starting to close down. The one thing is the fact that D2 Hustlers haven't really been able to overtake the net worth just yet. Low Skill's doing a really good job at just sitting back and farming. Same with Loranov. But the question for me is, when do they feel like they can fight? Like, they don't really have a initiator for them. They don't have something along the lines of like an LC that we've seen. So maybe they're just hoping for a good team fight. Maybe now's the play.
Well, Eki sort of initiated there. That's the only initiation they have. Somehow long range arrow connects. It did, but they had no follow-up. So D2 Hustlers will take this as an invitation to try and put some pressure onto the tier 3 tower. Low Skill has some illusions pushing out top and middle, but the main body has now made itself known. They might try and go for some wraparound song play. They set up first onto Hakoda with this track. A couple of heroes tracked up right now. Tier 3 tower at half HP. Moonlight Shadow coming in, but they've already got the dust down in the area, so they can see the approach coming. Jump in for Divine Llama to clear out the illusions, but no real hero there. BKB popped by Loranov, going forward in the fight, really wants to find something. They will go in. Divine Llama gets off a duel with BKB and Blade Mail, but he's probably gonna still end up dying. One more right click will kill him, and he loses his life. Hakoda jumps to the edge of the fight to try and bring down Loranov. He sets up the kill, loses his life in the process, but well worth it. In the meantime, though, Low Skill aggressing onto the OD. OD tries to save himself after dropping the sanities, but only a piece of their HPs have been taken. Not enough to threaten these heroes, as they do get a double fillets. Eki misses with the arrow, so the TP out from the Terror Blade will be allowed, but that will not be given towards the Yoloko as he dies as well. Lois finds a triple kill. PuckChamp take this fight 4 versus 2, and yeah, you lose Loranov, but hashtag worth for what you gain out of it.
Oh, 100%. Look at the gold swing, mate. Like, the amount of damage that they were able to do in that fight was insane. The fact that they were able to stay with it. And I think this is kind of what we're going to be expecting. Games have started to become longer so far because when you get these team fight victories, it means that you are able to get so much more gold back into it. As we see Divine Llama get another kill here. The one issue that I saw is Low Skill's illusions got absolutely obliterated, right? That was a cool interaction too. I'm not quite sure if anybody else saw it. Yuma sundered onto Loranov, but Loranov popped BKB, so Sunder goes on cooldown, but it does literally nothing. So it means now that with the interaction of debuff immunity rather than magic immunity, that Yuma can still sunder someone, but it doesn't really matter.
That actually is really cool, now that you mention it. I see. Professor Fluke at it again with some new mechanics for us. Love to see it.
But yeah, like this fight was huge for them. The fact that they're able to get 4 unanswered kills. They got a lot of gold onto their Naga Siren. It was a swing of like 4,000 net worth, which was massive for them. They did that into an Aegis as well. Didn't even lose the tier 3 tower. So yeah, I think these games are going to be ending up this way a whole lot more.
For me, the really scary thing about that fight is that Low Skill, by the time he enters the fight, yeah, he tanks the full Sanity's Eclipse amongst multiple heroes. At the time, he already had like half a mana pool, but it literally just tickled him. Took like the top third of his HP off, and it's not like this hero gets any weaker as time goes on. And that's like their big burst damage spell, right, from the side of D2 Hustlers. Yeah, sure, they have Divine Llama with the overwhelming odds to deal with the illusions, but outside of that, killing the Naga Siren requires her to either be dueled or to just get hit flush with the Sanities. Duel was used in a different fashion, so the fact that he can just walk around this fight completely unencumbered, Low Skill feels very good. He just stole their Wisdom Rune now, got a ton of experience from this. Will he be able to get out? Yep, he just TP's out, he's chilled. So they've lost out on not being able to find the kill and they'll lose free experience. They're looking for this kill though. Hakoda, find Freedom Strong, but the force off will be there to keep him alive. They still chase after him. They're going to be interrupted with the Astral, the dual kill. More damage for Divine Llama is up to 100 right now. And a kill on for PuckChamp. And if they get this tier 2 tower, this feels way better than it would. And they still have this Aegis here, Fluke. So what do they use this for? Do they just try to keep more map control, or are they fine with how the map is and just utilize it to farm? Oh, it just expired. Never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just about to run out, so I wouldn't hate to see them try and get a little bit of control back on the top side as well. To be able to you know, start to pull them apart. They found Eki in the dire side as well, so just be able to get rid of some of these heroes that are walking around being a little bit pesky, and just trying to deal with them for now, because they're kind of happy with how this game is going to an extent. This Naga is starting to become a little bit of an issue, but the TB is also still an issue for PuckChamp as well, right? They weren't able to kill him one time in the previous fight, and now that he's getting higher on the net worth, he's got his BKB, he's got his Manta, he's got Skadi, probably going to go like Satanic next, I'd imagine, for Yuma, that he's going to be very, very hard to deal with. And at the end of the day, T2 Hustlers, they have a Legion Commander, so she's going to scale really, really well now that he's actually starting to get dual damage. And also they have an OD that once this game can get, you know, super late and he starts building up these Astral Imprisonment charges and gets a whole boatload of mana, he can do a lot of burst damage, but they just need these fights to extend a little bit longer.
OG just got himself a token, picked up BKB as well. So this hero's going to start getting bigger and more difficult to kill in these fights, especially once he picks up the Shivas. I am kind of surprised that neither of these teams have like the team defensive items, you know? Nobody is carrying Pipe, no one's carrying Greaves, no one's carrying the Crimson Guard. Thank God Wraith King is removed from the game, so no one can carry that. Haha.
Yeah. Interested to see what Tundra are going to look like when they read the patch notes, but they should be fine.
33 molding right now. I hope the 33 support group is strong at the moment.
Dude, I saw the funniest meme. It was like, it was, you know, the Wolverine meme where he like brushes his hand on the image. It was just 33 and Wraith back. That should make me laugh so much. It's like whoever came up with that's a good brain right there.
Funny.
I respect it. Yeah, it is kind of surprising. I thought that Crimson Guard was definitely going to be something that both these two teams would want against illusion carriers, just because of how much that it blocks from illusions, and it means mainly the main hero is the one that you have to worry about. I guess they both have good illusion clear, so it's not too hard for them to play around with.
Quick jump onto Eki. They just burst them down. No, does not have buyback, but will be up again in 30 seconds, given that he is still relatively low level. You mentioned the lack of experience overall, the dearth of it for these supports, and we're starting to see that be an influence here. Only level 11 on the supports on the side of PuckChamp. So they're putting everything, all the eggs into the core baskets. And now they've lost the tier 3 tower. How will they decide to move around in this area? Sweden Strong is sitting in behind these heroes, trying to maybe come in, catch them off guard with a couple of shots out of the Janata. Unfortunately for him, though, Divine Llama is sitting with the gem, so very difficult to make that approach. They'll be happy to take the tier 3 tower, just back off and leave, and start thinking about when is it possible to take the next Roche. The big man respawns in 20 seconds. But PuckChamp smoke, they realize that this is a precarious point in the game. They can't let D2 Hustlers have too much. This has been scouted though here, Luke. They see all these heroes, they're jumping in. Duel finds Freedom Strong. Freedom Strong should die. Even through the duel here, it buys back very quickly. There's going to be an Sanity's Eclipse going down. It only catches the Timbersaw as well as the Naga. Low skill, still very hard in the HP. Caught inside the power cogs right now though. Won't be able to do all that much. London pops his own BKB, trying to put pressure onto Yuma. Yuma just decides he wants none of the smoke. TP's out, leaves the fray. A blink out as well from this OD. And his D2 Hustlers lost both of their supports. They witness that they witnessed the buyback from the bounty, and they're like, yeah, time to leave. We don't want to take this fight anymore.
Yeah, it's very hard to fight into a Nagasaki with the Butterfly. They don't have natural MKB builders, so a lot of their damage is really starting to fall behind. OD relies on the Arcane Orbs to be able to get the hits going, unless he's able to spam out some of these Astral Imprisonments. Production, I don't know if I can call for this, but I would like to see a replay of that previous fight, because I think I might be wrong. Here, Snare. I think I may have the interaction between Sunder and BKB a little wrong here.
Oh, no.
So I think what I saw was the Sunder went off on the BKB Lorinov. He didn't lose HP, but the Terrorblade gained HP.
What?
Yeah. Maybe I might be wrong, but I think that's what I saw in that fight. Because they both ended up with like full HP. So now with Aegis and Cheese on the side of PuckChamp, how many Lotuses do they have on PuckChamp?
PuckChamp have one on
few.
the Timbersaw. And then
not Lotus Orb, but like
Lotuses.
healing Lotuses. Healing Lotuses. Sorry. So I need to see the block of Cheese.
They have two right now on the Bounty Hunter that I see. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so
nobody else is
you
carrying
need...
them around.
You need 18 of them plus the cheese to be able to make the block of cheese, which gives you a 500 HP regenning permanent barrier against all damage. So,
That sounds fair.
I don't know if that's better than just cheese itself, but I mean, it sounds pretty cool. Especially when barriers can stack. So,
We'll
you
have to see,
combine them
though.
like a pipe. You feel
When we
good.
were off air, you were talking to Danog about this, and we're not certain if it actually is applicable in captain's mode as well.
Yeah, okay. That's one caveat. I know it exists. I've seen it in pubs, but I'm not sure if it works in captain's mode.
Oh, we also
Because it
in
is like a
captain's
little
mode
hidden
right
Easter
now.
egg.
Yes, a little busted Easter egg actually, but that's just the nature of Dota. All the secrets are busted.
Dire's
This game
top
stage right
tower
now.
has fallen.
Top tower gets taken out by these radiant creeps. Just more and more space being made on the map. Low skill just farming and farming and farming away. We are getting to the point now where, yeah, the net worth difference is only 1k in favor of the side of PuckChamp, but they have multiple heroes occupying the upper echelon of this net worth. LC is starting to get left behind in this game, despite having access to damage. She is still sitting with the gem, which means that her Coda, good sir, without a gem, you are uber dead. They take out this clock. They are still in Moonlight Shadow, so they would like to try and aggress for more. Sweet and strong. Bounding forward. Dude, how lucky is he? Nobody here has vision for him. So he can actually just do this and get away. The gem will finally come in as they TP in Divine Lava. Lift back, they get the duel out. Oh, it's off. Oh no, worst target ever. PuckChamp lose out on their Lesh. It will still come back on the second life. Does have BKB if he wants to use it. But more importantly, low skill is here to pop the song. Get Stone stolen away from him. Oh no! The Yoloko blinks forward. Can they set this up for even more success? Larenov, he's the one they want. They pop BKB on this Timber Terrorblade. Terrorblade lashing out the right click damage. Not going to be enough to find the kill though. As they also go into the midst of the fight onto Low Skill, who has his own BKB. Hokoda jumping in onto the Naga Siren, interrupting the escape for now. The lift back from the Yoloko. The arrow will not connect onto any real target. Gets eaten up by an illusion. So the Terrorblade illusions in turn eat up the Naga Siren. PuckChamp lose big here in the mid lane, thanks to the Yoloko clearly outplaying them super hard.
Yeah, that was huge from him, being able to steal that is monstrous. And he also finds Eki. Oh no, Yoloko. I mean, we saw last time this guy was able to play Rubik, man. He's a beast. He's an absolute beast, and now he's proving why you first pick a hero like Rubik in a patch like this. Like, that, it's kind of genius, right? It means that they just don't have to worry about any of these wacky heroes.
Yep. Ah man, Rubik. When Rubik's able to perform like this, the game is a lot easier. He sets up the initial dual kill with the lift back, sets up the follow-up kill with the song. And now, because of all this work he's done, he's setting up for multiple lanes of racks. D2 Hustlers having already cleared out the bottom side, looking towards mid. I'm not sure they get this though, as Naga is about to respawn. Although they don't have this bounty hunter, and they should be aware that he doesn't have buyback. Let's see what D2 Hustlers decide to do about this. Terrorblade just sitting on the low ground, chilling, waiting for somebody to pop through the first barrier of defense, but they'll just be happy and content themselves with a tier 2 tower and a tier 3. Just get back.
Yeah. Also, the fact that Yuma got a shield rune as well meant that he was very, very hard to deal with. So they leave him be for that. I'm a little disappointed that there's no little icons in the left-right feed for Wisdom Rune and Shield Rune. I guess I'm
That
just
is true,
nitpicking the patch at this point. I've really enjoyed 7.33, but there is some small things that are irking me.
All right. Do you really want to nitpick? Here's my major nitpick so far.
Okay,
Right.
go.
So, Observer, please help me out here. You see this Observer ward? Click on the Observer ward. Tell me how much duration is left on this ward. Any ward. Like, do you also have
like
the
how you
bug
said
where the
this
minutes
Observer
are
ward?
cut off? Yeah. Any Observer ward. You see it's cut off. Yeah.
Wait, I can
That
see
for
it.
me. Can you see it really?
Yeah, I have an ultra-wide monitor though.
Oh my god. Alright, so
So-
Valve must have struck some deal with LG or Dell to try and get everybody to buy ultra-wide monitors. Sweet, I see.
But a small little tangent. If you're not playing ultra-wide in 2023, you are behind the gaming curve. I'm telling you right now.
What are you talking about?
It is broken. It is. I
Play with a
legitimately
curve,
see more of the
fine.
map. I legitimately
God.
see more of the map. It's insane.
Do you have to use custom resolution for half your games now?
No, a lot of games
Okay.
are actually ultra-wide supported. Thank God. Has been a while where they weren't, and it was terrible. But now it's very good. Very, very good.
All the
One gaming.
CRU users in chat. Oh, Sweden strong. Almost got caught here. Hakoda can't catch him with the initial hook shot, but we'll still be able to run him down. Just bad. And this should be this mid lane of Rax here, with at the very least a top tier 2. They can go for this even without having the Aegis. They're that strong here, Fluke, and they're gonna make this rush. Low skill can't keep this off all by his lonesome, so that's just a mid lane of Rax taken away. They can't get negated thanks to the tier 2 still existing in the top lane. But this is not how they envision these last few minutes going. And, you know, they have some degree of D-push in between the Timbersaw. You know, eventually this Naga side just really annoying for these creep waves, but Naga doesn't want to be spending this much of a time back on this side of the map. Leshrac definitely doesn't want to do that either. So D2 Hustlers just feeling so good about themselves and their position in game number 1.
Yeah, I think this just kind of comes back to the fact that PuckChamp unfortunately just don't have initiation for them, so they can't aggress and take any of these fights. Pardon me. That they want to. Even if they are in a good spot to do it, just because it's much harder for them to start a fight, whereas there's blinks galore, there's hook shot, there's duel, like there's all this crazy stuff coming in from D2 Hustlers that just make it easier for them to connect onto people and be able to take them down.
There's a very big scan
wrap
that came out from D2 Hustlers as they scanned out exactly where PuckChamp were. But PuckChamp also get an equally good scan as well, because they know exactly where D2 Hustlers are. But look at this, Hakoda goes to buy the vision as they timber chain in with Lays. They've split the fight into 2 here. They've already brought down this clockwork. BKB up on low skill. He gets fooled up at the moment. Will they be able to kill him? Divine Llama bit off more than he can chew and he dies here. Low skill though, trying to escape with the song, won't be allowed to do so as Adzentic brings him down with an arcane orb hit and a BKB. At the same time though, Yuma, he used his whole BKB to kill this Naga Siren. So he's suddenly vulnerable, brought down by the rest of PuckChamp. Not going to be able to connect with the rest of his team. It looked good initially. Hakoda gave them the vision, but PuckChamp, they were willing to just put their bodies on the line here, Fluke, and that daring gets them the reward that they needed in that team fight.
Yeah, that was exactly what they needed to do. And when they have fights like this, where they can kind of just like go up the high ground and put their Timbersaw as a body in the front line, then they have potential of winning the fight, right? Because they just need to make sure that the Timber stays alive for long enough. You give enough vision for the Naga Siren to walk in towards the back, and you get a good fight going. But you know, D2 Hustlers, they're the ones that are going to have a lot more of the initiative in some of these fights, and if they're not the ones that are starting on their terms, you can see how poorly the fights can go for them, especially if they don't get too many kills inside of the BKB from Yuma. That was one of the issues, is, you know, even if he has his BKB going, he's not immune from all the damage from the Leshrac, so Lesh is still forcing him to play in a certain kind of way, and once that BKB is over, he just gets stunned, he got arrowed, he got split earth, and just goes down to the overwhelming magic damage. And maybe now D2 Hustlers, they just need to try and provide a few more swift strikes to end this game, because they are, I would say, I don't want to say like uber well ahead, but they are in a strong position in a map control kind of sense, that they can take a few good fights and then push into PuckChamp, especially with a Roche coming up in what, 30 seconds? Yeah.
One of the big things that they will need is favorability when it comes to these neutral items. They have some decent ones. By the way, I wonder, what do you think the maximum amount of the same neutral item in one game can be?
That's a good question. I think that comes down to the odds, right? And about how many people actually want to pick it.
Let's see how this fight breaks out down bottom. Smoke on smoke action. Arrow. No! It caught Yuma! First and foremost, they try to save him. They do get him back with the lift back on the Rubik as well as the Astral, so he can fight back. Divine Llama pop BKB just to run interference and back off himself. Everybody has used BKB, so Hakoda jumps in. Hakoda might regret this though, as he gets brought down very quickly. Timber chain forward by Lays. Won't be able to find anybody though, as Yuma used the Trickster Cloak to try and escape beyond the tier 2 tower. He's hiding in the trees right now. They don't know where he is. They haven't found him. No, the Shivas won't catch him out. He doesn't have a BKB anymore. Yuma's gone. There is buyback available, and they drop down a huge Sanities, but it only kills off the supports, as Marana and Bounty are gone. But Divine Llama should follow them into the base. Low skill, looking for a target on the side of D2 Hustlers, but neither of them available. OD and Rubik live, but a triple kill granted towards this Leshrac. 2 gems taken away, and D2 Hustlers watching most of their advantage eroding before their very eyes here, Fluke, just as the big man comes back and gets exactly where PuckChamp are heading right now.
Yep. It is now a very rough scenario for D2 Hustlers because you can see that they just don't really have the damage anymore. Again, they got ran at. They weren't the ones that were initiating this fight. They weren't able to play on their turn. They're the ones that get run over the top of by PuckChamp. So the fact that we have Roshan in the Radiant side, we get ourselves a free Aghanim Scepter. Please give it to Laze. There's a really cool interaction that you can do with this Timbersaw Ag Scepter that you can basically just like sit in the trees, press your reactive armor, and then you can jump in and deal like a 700 damage burst just by the shield popping by itself.
That's funny.
Which is nuts because like to get the max, you don't even need to be around heroes. You just need to wait a couple of seconds and it builds up to 800 and then you blink in when it's about to pop. You get like this little timer indicator above your head like Alchemist chemical concoction. And then you just blink in when it's about to blow up and it just deals damage to everyone. And then you like chakram and then you chain and then you Welling Death and you deal like, I don't know, like 1500 to 2000 like pure damage like instantly. It's kind of scary.
That sounds like a hilarious interaction. Although I am glad that they didn't do that. I'm glad they just gave it to the Lesh, nice standard nihilism, which is super, uber, #1 versus Terrorblade. Yuma is the saddest camper in all of history. That's going to be 30k net worth that literally does nothing in the next fight. And nobody's even close to buying a nullifier on the team. So there's just no way to get rid of this. Just have to deal with it heads up. Do your own magic damage. I mean, it's there, but it's not like overwhelming enough that to override the advantage nihilism gives you. So
well, yeah,
let us see
it
how
doesn't
this
increase
goes.
the Leshrac as well, right? So he's perfectly okay with it. So very much like Pugner on roids right now. Feels good. Also, that's a sick change. There's going to be a lot more Pugner, I think. Did it crapify?
Do not remind me, bro. So many heroes I'm just like, I'm just terrified of seeing them in an actual live game. Sweden Strong gets duels, gonna get caught out in range. They blow him up. He buys back immediately, as has been his once in this game, because now they want to turn around. Akoda buying space and time with his own body. Unfortunately, his own body gets taken away. He buys, he wants to buy back, but he got saved with the Astral, as Mirana's the one that dies instead, as she needs some salvation with the buyback. They steal away the Split Earth from this Leshrac. BKB was popped by Yuma as well. Divine Llama goes in to recover the gem. Lorinov really wants to re-engage this fight. Sitting with this Aegis of the Immortal would be very good for him to blink right atop these heroes. But they have to be a bit careful now though, because they have 2 heroes that died and brought back. If they lose these heroes again, they're going to be out for quite a long time. So PuckChamp, I don't want to see them get overly aggressive here. They need to still be very circumspect about how they go up the hill.
Yeah. Because they can just get blink dueled and, they still have their BKB on their Leshrac, but, their Timbersaw lays, there can be some issues for him. Naga is making her way towards the top side as well, and they're going to be chipping away. Biggest lead that we've had all game, 10k net worth right now for PuckChamp. This game is starting to slowly but surely move back in towards their direction. Still only 61% win probability, so not even Dota Plus understands what's going on right now.
I think Dota Plus knows that the game is too short. New patch, at least hour-long game, so it's like pre-50 minutes, anybody could win, mate.
Yeah, you need to get those tier 5 tokens where everyone has like the crazy tier 5 items.
We're gonna try force a fight right now. D2 Hustlers during the retreat. Arrow catches onto one of the illusions of Yuma. They're looking for a dual kill and they will get it onto Laze. But here comes a Song of the Siren from low skill. They're actually gonna re-engage this fight. BKB from Laze. They're looking towards the Rubik first and foremost. He gets saved by the Astral, but they're just terrorizing the backlines right now. Lorinov running in with this magic damage, just spilling in everywhere. They brought down the LC. Rubik is gonna fall next. Lorinov though out of the BKB, so we'll be forced to just go in with this young Bloodstone. Pops that, keeping the fight going. They're going on to Yuma. He pops his own BKB in the middle of the fight on the Terrorblade. He's getting dove at right now by Lorinov. He still has an Aegis in tow. Not dead just yet. And these heroes slowed down by the Shivas. But they will be able to get back to some degree of safety. Lorinov. Blink Duel, not online just yet. It's available now in 1 second. But PuckChamp still don't feel like they actually want to fight. I think they'll be retreating as 5 right now. I don't think we're going to be seeing any TP movements at the moment. Like, they'll be like, yeah, that fight kind of sucked. We did win, quote unquote. We got 3 heroes out of it, but still came uncomfortably close to dying initially on one of our heroes.
Yeah, you can just see the reset ability now for PuckChamp to be able to just come in with a Song of the Siren. Leshrac is able to run around and deal a massive amount of damage. He still is a hero with a Bloodstone, so it is very, very scary. And as you said, Nihilism and this E-Blade now just makes it so hard for Yuma to deal the damage for them. I haven't really felt the impact of Adzentic just yet on this OD. Haven't really seen any like massive hammer drops or like the amount of damage that he can do. He has stolen a 1,000 mana, so he is at least like kind of scary in these next couple of fights if he continues to get some more astrals going. That this hammer can do a lot of damage, but it's just, you can just see with like how tanky heroes are now. They get an extra couple of hundred HP with the amount of strength that they have. They're feeling pretty strong with, you know, walking around with 2 heroes that are 3k plus you have the Naga Siren as well, who's 3.8k. Like Leshrac now has 4,000 health. Like why does Leshrac have 4k health? What? How are you supposed to kill him when he has 4,000 health and 35 armor?
So let's see.
Nihilism and E-Blade. Like, what?
That's just Leshrac, fam. You still have to worry about the Naga behind him that has
almost
evasion,
has 4k herself.
Almost has 4k health, also has 30 armor. So you pick your poison, right? If you're Yuma right now, it's like, alright, sweet. I right-click this Leshrac, he pops Nihilism, or he uses E-Blade, and then he just gets Bloodstone off, so I can't kill him in that regard. Or I turn my attention toward Naga Siren, who is evading a solid third of my attacks, who has a ton of armor for the rest of them, and an obscene amount of regen thanks to this heart. Good luck. Good luck, have fun,
yeah.
D2 Hustlers, killing these heroes. Especially because Divine Llama, yeah, he's accrued like a ton of dual damage, but frankly, plus 280 dual damage, during the, you don't do enough attack, like his attack speed on this LC is not high enough to actually threaten these heroes. There's no crits. It's not going to overwhelm them by any stretch of the imagination, so they're chilling, man. Like, they need this AC for him to finish off first before he feels like a much more viable threat. And even then, I'm still not confident that they can kill anybody but the 2 supports. Because even Laze is now getting up there. He also has 4k HP, 21 armor. He's about to get into a refresher orb as well. So he is not easy to deal with either.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess this is the reason why these games are going longer, right? Also, they haven't really changed how going high ground really works. If anything, they made it a lot better for the defenders with the defenders gates. The fact that you can come out the side, you can get a nifty little smoke gate coming around. You can still get out on your side of the map, farm some ancients, get yourself a wisdom rune, all that kind of stuff. You can fight your tormentor as well. So there is a lot of ways for these defenders to get outside of the base and still continue to farm. And the fact that lane creeps don't give as much gold anymore means that you're not just like, you know, 50k net worth above them right now.
Hex reveal onto OD. Oh, that's a perfect target if they can get the kill. 4-star and a lip will keep him alive for now, though. But they do blow up Hakoda on the other side of the fight. Sanity is dropped down by Adzentic, and he forces himself into the fray. Not sure about this direction, as the BKB is about to expire. Laranov in the midst of so many heroes with the Bloodstone active. Just look at him go with Timbersaw right next to him. Sunder does come in, healing up Blaze quite a bit, or healing up Yuma rather. And Yuma pops his own BKB to get away from the Song of the Siren, but the Song still catches him towards the end. Arrow connects onto him. There will be a stolen Song though from the Yoloko. Might have just saved this game single-handedly on the Rubik by enabling the escape for Yuma. But that will still open up the path to the lane of Rax because neither of the heroes that died have 5
Yep, 70 seconds left on Davai Lama. This is buybacks on Adzentic as well as Yuma, so they can try and mount a defense, but this could potentially look like mega creeps 52 minutes into the game. You can just see in these fights that it's like, it's so hard to kill people, man. Like, it seems like nobody has any damage. He literally tickled them.
Literally no damage from an ultimate. So we see Timbersaw will actually suffer quite a bit of damage himself thanks to the right clicks of Yuma and a couple of arcade orb hits, but will still be allowed to live. Has that Aghanim Scepter that you were clamoring for now as they get the start onto Yuma. Yuma getting chased away from these racks. Moonlight Shadow will come in for the Radiant lineup. They really want this Terrorblade. He got off the Sunder last second, and that does allow him to get back to the base, but that will not allow them to defend the outside racks as they lose all 3 lanes. It's mega creeps, baby. And I think you just go back in, right? If you're a PuckChamp.
Yeah, I think they're going to play it pretty safe here. They know how important this series is for them to be able to stay in the hunt of staying in Division 2. Also, that interaction does work the way that I talked about the second time. So Yuma, if he sunders someone with BKB, they won't lose HP, but he gets HP.
Well, did you see what your boy Yuma just bought?
Rapier.
He is officially in recovery mode. We are officially in Hail Mary mode. Let's go,
Yep.
Rapier.
This would have been a lot better if it still had the True Strike. And if it could hit ethereal units, would be sick. But unfortunately for TB, that's not how it works.
Okay, so you want them to buff Rapier, it must give True Strike, hit ethereal units. Should we get a crit as well while we're at it?
I think if you were like, if you want to have Rapier as this like, I'm buying this item because I've got gold and the game is in a very dire state, make it like 10,000 gold or something.
Oh my god.
Like, if you wanted to have True Strike, hits ethereal units, does 150% crit damage or something like that, you would have to make it like 10,000 damage. And yeah, and it still drops on death.
It still drops on death, oh my god.
Yeah, like, because otherwise it would be too broken, right? Like, if you make it like solve all of your problems as a carry, I think that might make it just kind of, you would just save 10,000 gold in late game, and no matter if you got mega crit or whatever, you could just, you know, blow up any carry here, and they had no way of playing against it.
How about this, right? We don't give it, we give it the crit. We give it the piercing ethereal units. We don't give it the True Strike. That does feel a bit busted. But what we do to make up for it is that you can spend 3,000 gold so that it doesn't drop on your first death. You can do it like once. Like, that's your upgrade for the item.
You have like a insurance policy on your Divine Rapier.
So you can still spend about 10k, right, in total, the total gold amount. But the extra 3k is just to make sure that you can still have, you have it for 2 fights. So you can take it, buy back, and still have the Rapier bonus for fight 2.
Yeah. You can see that PuckChamp were trying to kill the Tormentor. Do they have all their shards? So they're just looking for a little bit of golden experience, I guess. But you can see how annoying the Tormentor is when you don't have enough people to deal the damage to it. Also, I have a little head cannon right now as this game starts to slow down. These Tormentors, like the box, once, like, you know how like they wrote in the patch notes that Arc Warden's going to like return to normal when he's when he gets used to the new paradigm.
Yeah.
I think once he's out, these Tormentors are going to get unlocked from their boxes. And there's going to be like actually a creep inside of it.
I like that. Nice little duel that happens. I like the unlock on the Aeon Disc. It's not going to be enough. The sanity drops, but yet again, it only tickles these cores. They buy back on this bouncy hunter. How many times has he brought back in this game? Yuma revealing in the fight that he has a Rapier right now. Going in, does have access to the meta. Lorenov still has Aegis for another 3.5 minutes. So not really too concerned about this. Just rushing forward. The Honor Core pumps the song, but unfortunately the Lesh damage already out with the Pulse Nova. They've gotten the 1 kill without buyback. They're going in onto Hakoda. He dies as well. Does have a way back into the game, however. There will be a refresh on Yuma. He has another BKB, has another Sunder. He gets stunned up, though. He can't get either. Oh, Fluke, he's dead! The Rapier. Oh no, it gets dropped down, picked up by low skill. He'll buy back on the TB, but to no avail as they call GG. Well played. Game number 1 in favor of...